the market. All right. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is the market wrap for February 4th, 2019. Qs and SPY continue the hourly uptrend here. Qs up almost 1% and the SPY up 0.45, so just short of 0.5% there. Coming into today, we identified this hourly pivot here. Okay, this hourly pivot at around 269.18. If it breaks there, then we'll have to shed the bullish bias, but until then, the bullish bias remains. You see that wasn't broken on the Qs or SPY there. Okay, that hourly pivot remained. 20 MA continues to point up. So we are approaching resistance on the Qs and SPY. We'll wait to see if we get some kind of reaction there, if the uptrend gets broken, but right now just following the hourly uptrend, as we have been for a few days. Okay, we do have Google, I think, coming up earnings-wise, so we'll see if that makes some kind of impact on the market here. But we've just been following the hourly uptrend. Once we broke this resistance here, stayed bullish since, and the hourly uptrend is still intact. Okay, so pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I'm just going to remain bullish. We'll have to get some other kind of pullback, or if we get some kind of breakout tomorrow and then look for a breakout failure. Otherwise, those are really the only two things I would look for to shift from the bullish bias. Otherwise, we're just going to keep it as we have for the last few days. Okay, and then SPY, very similar picture. We either get a pullback and then we fail on the pivot that we create, or we get a breakout and then look for no follow through to that breakout. Those would be the opportunities that we would look to shed our bullish bias. Okay, still need another additional setup after that to switch to a bearish bias. All right, because this weekly sell setup, right, is not looking like we're gonna trigger. Maybe at the end of this week we can revisit it, but we're quite a ways away from getting that pattern to initiate. Okay. All right, so going over some of today's plays, very, very nice play. Ryan had a call on the CLX this morning. All right, it was about $1 stop. You can see that we put in an opening range here, and then we put in a higher low. He played it as it broke the highs, and then once the 2-minute uptrend was broken, that was the exit. So nice, very nice play there from Ryan on the CLX. Good gap too. It did come from a previous gap up, but that gap up didn't really get much follow through, right? It became actually a pretty neutral bar. So that helps keep some of the juice going, some of the momentum there, still capable of moving the stock as this gaps, right? Because the people who were looking to buy it didn't necessarily step up on this day. So that demand showed up now as we're clearing this resistance, right? I think they had earnings as well. So that brought some buyers in. I had a call on the SO&O this morning. A little bit novice in this gap because it's multiple days up, but it was clearing some resistance here to the left, and we got what looked to potentially be a really nice shakeout here. So that's what I was looking. If this recovered from this bar here, you see the volume stepped in, made a new high, and the volume stepped in, right? So that gave me my numbers on how to play this. Okay, that should be... MTZ should be out. Yep. Okay. Loss on the MTZ, but we'll get to that right after this. So on the SO&O, if it cleared the high there, that was 1320. Yeah, 1320 by 12.99 was the play. Looking for about 1360. That was going to be some resistance here to the left on this top of this red bar here. I believe it was 64, so I was looking to retrace more of that red bar there to the left. Didn't trigger, so no harm, no foul there. Now onto the MTZ. Okay, now as you saw earlier, Qs and SPY in an uptrend today. Okay, and notice that the MTZ staying at the lows did a low of the day base breakdown. Okay, so we played it as it broke 89. All right, and the stop was 42.10, just because there's a little bit of spread. I think this is 08, so gave it a little bit of a couple cents extra. We got some follow through right off the bat here. That worked out pretty well to begin with. I was looking for more, and that was going to be based off of the daily here. I wanted to retrace more of this green bar here. Low of that green bar was 40.80. I didn't think that we would necessarily get there today, so I did have an earlier target around 41.25. That's what I was looking for as kind of a placeholder. And while this worked initially, we sat through the pullback, you know, and then let it go negative. And then just recently here, I just trailed it to this little bit of consolidation here. Okay, you can see here on the hourly that we are taking out the previous bar's high. It's not the first time that this has happened, so we did kind of get a warning sign that on this retracement, it was a bit too much. I would have much preferred if this were going to retrace. This was support, should hold as resistance, but it retraced a bit too much. That was kind of the first warning sign that maybe we weren't going to get some follow through. There was some little bit of adjustment in the management at the initial start here. We got a wide range bar to start the breakdown move there. So I said initially I want to trail this to 95 because I want to make sure this doesn't turn into a breakdown failure at lunch. Okay, lunchtime breakouts and breakdowns are very prone to failing, and what they'll look like is you get this kind of move, volume comes in, couple inside bars, and then it takes out those inside bars. So even though our stop was up here, I wanted to use these inside bars as if it took those out, then we may be dealing with a breakdown failure, but we got follow through after that. So I put the stop back up to where it initially was. So that was the reason for the change there in management from initially using the breakdown failure stop to the back to the original stop. Okay, because I just wanted to see. And then, you know, we lived through what initially looked like it was going to be a decent 15-minute sell setup, but you can see that 15-minute sell setup going the other way now, but we are out. Okay, so you probably heard the little bell there as my shares recovered over 41.95. Okay, so yeah, not all that great of stuff today. Really impressive CLX. Unfortunately, the MTZ is going to be a half-hour loss, less than a half-hour loss, so not too bad there. We'll just live to fight another day. The Sono never triggered. Okay, so that was what I was watching today, and looks like that MTZ would have stopped out anyway. So really nice follow through on the TRTN. There were a couple other things we were watching at lunch. That's a nice sell setup, nice follow through there, a little bit on the wild side. And then I think the PBI got some nice follow through as well. So hopefully we get a lot better gaps. Yeah, this worked as we were coming out of lunch here. A lot better gaps tomorrow. And since today was a rally, I'll be focused on the gap downs. And the gap downs have been harder as far as getting follow through because we have been in a bullish market, right? We've had a bullish bias for the last few days. So more of the gap downs are getting bought, more of the gap ups are getting follow through. But if we're looking for shock value, which I always am looking for, tomorrow I'll be focused on the gap downs first and foremost. Okay? All right, so that's going to do it for today's market wrap. Hope you had a good day today. If not, be ready to go because we have a very busy week ahead of us. All right, we'll see what the market brings us tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. All right, have a great evening.